Well, continuous and never-ending support has been made by the Indonesian government for small to medium-sized businesses, micro small to medium-sized businesses, or MSMEs. But how is the overview for MSMEs in Indonesia today? And what efforts are the Indonesian government preparing to help them grow in the midst of this pandemic? Well, here is the full story for you.
The Indonesian government has continuously pushed their efforts to support Indonesia's micro, small to medium-sized business, or MSMEs. According to the Coordinating Ministry of Economic Affairs, MSMEs are contributing up to 60% of Indonesia's GDP. It is no wonder that policymakers have been unified in their efforts and striving for MSMEs to play a major part in driving Indonesia's economic growth. But how exactly do we classify businesses that are categorized as micro, small to medium-sized enterprises? The Director of SMESCO, a government institution that trains and facilitates Indonesian MSMEs, Leonard Theosabrata, explained.
Particularly in SME, which in Indonesia we call them UMKM, which goes all the way from ultra micro all the way to middle, which is quite a huge range in terms of revenue per annum. That's how we classify it. And also there has been a sort of change in terms of brackets, especially in the small enterprise. Today, I think it goes up to 15 million rupiah, and that's still considered small enterprise. But the reality is 99% of all the MSME in Indonesia, it belongs to the micro, the ultra micro, all the way to the micro level, which is huge because it means only 1%, around 600 something thousand, that has revenue and classified as small and medium enterprise, which starts from 5 million rupiah all the way to 50 million rupiah per annum. And I think this is an area of concern regarding how do we tackle this and how do we approach this becomes very important, because the treatment for the ultra micro and micro cannot be the same as the treatment for the small and the medium enterprise in Indonesia.
99% of MSMEs in Indonesia are categorized as ultra micro and micro businesses, which means that their revenue is under 5 million rupiah. And only 1% of MSMEs are categorized as small to medium-sized enterprises, which has revenues between 5 until 15 million rupiah. SMESCO sees this as a challenge, where they have to push the 99% of micro businesses to increase their performance. But despite current difficulties, according to Leonard, the pandemic is actually helping micro businesses to grow.
The pandemic has a sort of like blessing in disguise in terms of how we approach, the economy in Indonesia. Particularly because I think the role of digital has come into play in a much more significant way in terms of bringing all this ultra micro and micro all the way to middle sector, and how they approach their business, especially in terms of marketing and also sales. So there has been a significant push, like the Gerakan Bangga Buatan Indonesia, that has a significant outcome. Of course, this is something that we all share and we all participate in, because it's a national movement, and that has generated a lot of onboardings of MSME into the digital world in a massive way, and has been quite successful. But I think that's only the beginning, because after that, after they onboard, there needs to be a lot of programs and also ways to improve and also help them to market their product all the way to sales. And this is something that SMESCO and also Kementerian Koperasi and UMKM is doing with a lot of programs And the emphasis is on ecosystem, because I think during the pandemic, we can definitely map out where it's lacking and where synergy, collaboration, aggregation, and consolidation becomes a keyword in order for MSME to survive and also to thrive post-pandemic. So regardless of digitalization, there needs to be something on the ground level that we all have to do. And SMESCO is also doing such program. For instance, which I can explain more later, we're establishing a hub for Eastern Indonesia. We call it SMESCO Hub Timur in Bali. And the emphasis is on how to essentially absorb more commodities from Eastern Indonesia to be concentrated in the Eastern Hub. And from there, we can do a lot more aggressive and also consolidation effort to propel and also to push MSMEs in the eastern part of Indonesia. Of course, the western part hub being the one that we have in Jakarta now. And I think we're going to mirror most of the program that we have, both in the western hub and also in the eastern hub.
Indonesia as an archipelago country is facing the biggest of challenges in connecting each region, especially from the eastern part of Indonesia, which actually is superior in its sources and products. SMESCO, as one of the center of excellence mandated by the government, have to provide a solution. SMESCO's hubs for MSMEs is divided into two locations. First is the Western Hub located in Jakarta, and the second one is Eastern Hub located in Bali. Through this hub, they created an ecosystem to transform MSMEs and accelerate their products to reach domestic markets or even expand globally. SMESCO and local governments will live side by side with MSMEs and facilitate them with a training, help with businesses matching, and guide them with logistics. Moreover, most of the major products in eastern Indonesia are dominated by herbs, and most of which are agricultural-based processed products. That is why SMESCO and local governments are also creating collaborations that involve stock points and cloud kitchen to facilitate the processing stage. After that, MSMEs will send their goods and market it in the business-to-business system or even in the business-to-customer through e-commerce, social media, online retail, or even exporters. It is hoped that the existence of this ecosystem can be a bridge between MSMEs and buyers who can further advance and provide a wider market, even globally, for Indonesian products. During this pandemic, the Indonesian government frequently expressed their plans on digitalization and how to incorporate micro, small to medium enterprises into the digital realm. The digitalization trend is believed to be able to lead to an inclusive economy as well as boost the MSME scale of business. The government is even targeting to digitalize 30 million SMEs by 2030. But how can this be achieved when there are still so many unsolved problems?
I'm talking about real sector, real sector opportunities. I think we should not emphasize only on digital startups only, but we also have to look at a lot of the real sector startups that involves a lot of people and employment, and also bringing a lot of contribution to the country. And the way the digitalization works in Indonesia, I think it all has to start with infrastructure, of course, and there's a lot of investment being put into 5G. We have MOUs with Telkomsel, trying to also look at this 5G possibilities. And of course, we talk to a lot of the e-commerce, the big ones, how to aggregate and also consolidate more. And we're also looking at, the realm of export, how to push that through cross-border. And also another one that we should look at and also put a lot of attention to is actually the logistics solution that we are, as a country, as an archipelago, it's a very challenging thing to move products and to distribute products all across the nation becomes a challenge in itself. And therefore, we also have a program. We have our own fulfillment center. It's already built. By the end of this year, we're hoping that it's going to be fully functional. And we're also offering a subsidized rate that MSME can enjoy. But the reason why we established this is because we want a kind of fulfillment center that is focused on only Indonesian-made products and only MSME to be distributed better in the local market. And eventually, once that's established, we're going to try to take them export. So this is something that we're putting a lot of attention to in terms of solutions. But because of that, we also need a lot of funding and a lot of access to finance. So our ecosystem actually goes all the way from it's an end-to-end ecosystem that we built in the last 2 years, almost 2 years now since I joined.
Digitalization does not mean that everything can run automatically. Entering into e-commerce means that MSMEs must be prepared to spur product and business development, from making modern packaging to obtaining relevant certifications to winning over customers and market competition.
First and foremost, we have to prepare the product. And then parallelly, we have to also prepare the efforts in terms of how to influence it.
Today, SMESCO's ambition is to create top commodities that will be recognized globally. SMESCO believes when at least one of Indonesia's products can win international attention, then the rest will follow. The government is optimistic to continue focusing in creating the fundamental system and implement the new ways to help the growth of micro, small to medium enterprises.